Compensation and variable pay, and Vidyasagar will take us through this.
Thank you, Vivi. Hi, everyone. So I'm here to take you through on the major and the important changes happened this in the latest release. So which is related to compensation, variable pay, and of course, a couple of slides related to the rewards and recognition. Okay, starting with a major change, like which has happened here in the executive review. See, earlier we used to have only XLS as a feature to export and import the data from the executive review screen. So with this release, so it's an extension like where we have the feature of XLSX, so which is a new one introduced this time, and where you can export and re-import the data using XLSX. So that is where like users were struggling earlier. So other customers were struggling earlier with a huge data dependency and all, and with the latest versions of Excels. So that's where like now you can use both the options which are available. So that's a major update this time in the executive review. Moving on to the next one. So where you have the form view. So if you remember the screens of compensation, so where the user go and enter into the worksheets. So there, the search window is a it used to have like a huge screen, like with a less worksheets displaying in a single screen. And with this new release, you can see now this exactly new search view, so which is very much visible in the single screen, and you will have a more list of worksheets showing up in the screen. That's one functionality which is added in the screen. The second one is you can create the folders by yourself on the left hand side. So in order to maintain your worksheets and all, you can create your own folders. So which is on the left hand side. Okay. So by using the screens, like you can create and maintain the data, the folders, and you can use like in progress folders clearly maintained and tracked properly. Moving on to the next one. So we have this time compensation job information published with centralized services. So earlier what we used to do is when you are publishing the data back, this is especially when you are having a promotions along with your compensation process. When you are publishing it back, so there will be a separate record entered as a job info, and then a separate record entered as a compensation info. So there in the back end, like there will be two separate records maintained. By enabling this centralized services checkbox, what it does is like it will combine when you are publishing the data back, it won't go and publish as a two different records. It will go and publish as one single record when you're doing a promotions as well, or any other data you are publishing from your compensation. So, and this functionality will be working fine only when you enable this functionality, like enable compensation published to Employee Central through the centralized service integration. Okay. Moving on to the next one. So this is related to your plan instructions. So usually the instructions tab on the worksheets, you will see default that will be named as a plan instruction, and then it will show the instructions whichever you maintain it in the system. But when you want to name or change the label of the header, the plan instructions, we never had this option from the front end to change or modify it, the label. So that we used to do in the back end in the XML. So, but this time, so we got the feature which is in the front end. So you can, as a customer, like when you have the access to it, so you can also make the changes. The label changes can be done. At the same time, multiple languages can also be maintained. So both functionalities are enabled this time in the front end. Okay, moving on to the next one. So where the experience matters to the users. So here, if you remember in the executive review, we have the filter options. So which are like most advanced filter options we have, that gives you more flexibility for each end user, every customers. And that's the best feature in the executive review, where you can filter out the employees and check the budgets and all. But earlier versions, so when you enter into your find user, and as you can see it on the screen on the right side, select users. So you can go for one employee filter, or multiple employees also can be selected. But removing the employees is a manual activity earlier. Let's say every employee you need to click on the crossbar and then close one by one employee like that. So that is a little bit hard. So that's why this time the clear all option was enabled. So if it is more than one employee, the clear all option will be enabled, and you can simply click on that button to clear out all the employees from the search. Okay, so that's the feature about. Next one is about, again, this is related to your publishing back to Employee Central, where we used to face certain challenges when we are publishing the data back to Employee Central, when there are certain warnings or error messages enabled in the Employee Central side. So what we used to do is, like, we will go to the Employee Central and we will raise a request to Employee Central consultant to disable those warnings, and then we use it to publish the data back. So now we came up with a new functionality here. You can publish the data back without disabling anything in the Employee Central side. So you can enable this functionality, ignore warnings when publishing from compensation to Employee Central, and you can publish the data back to Employee Central. So that will give you a more flexibility. So you don't have to, sometimes you may forget to enable and you will keep on getting the error messages or the warning messages. So to avoid that discrepancy, so you can enable this functionality always. Okay. And there's a huge change in the manual, in the statement section here. So these are the standard statements where we never had an option till now for converting into multiple languages, for adding up the languages. So we always use it to create separate templates in order to maintain the statements in a different languages. So this is a huge enhancement, I can say. So where you have an option to add language and maintain the language for the fields or for the text. So you can maintain in different languages now. So that's a big change here in the statements. And at the same time, when we create any standard statement, so what we used to do is we need to click on save and we need to go back to the manage statement templates, which is one step back, in order to preview it and see whether the statement is showing up correctly or not. But that is no more. We have the functionality, the preview functionality on the same screen where you are designing. So that's the below screen on the right side. So where it shows preview, as in, like, when you design it, you can preview it and you can verify it. So that's a good functionality as well. I can say, in the standard statement, that's a major change. Yes, please. Next. And this is related to total compensation plans. So when we are using a total compensation plan, which is your combination of your compensation and variable pay, right? And we never had this functionality, say, I mean, we had this functionality, but it's not like we can have a variable pay individual view. So when using total compensation plan. So now this has been enabled and you can see variable pay individual view. So you can see the statement available in the same section. So this enhancement brings you the functionality of viewing individual bonus calculations. Okay, so whichever are available in the variable pay, that can be viewed in this particular section. Okay, moving on to the next one. So this is related to rewards and recognition, and it came up from a customer community basically. So where whenever you are giving an award, by default, an email notification will be triggered to the respective managers. Okay, so whenever you are giving awards to employees, the manager used to receive a default notification. But some customers raise that, like, for example, if you are giving awards to 100 employees, then 100 different notifications will be triggered to manager, and that will be like a challenge for managers to see, like, oh my god, so these many notifications coming through and all. So this time we enabled a functionality, say you can exclude automatically copying the manager when sending in email notifications to award recipients. So by enabling this functionality, so email notification will not be triggered to managers. So I mean, this can be enabled or disabled, it's up to you, but this functionality is enabled this time. Okay, so next one is about recognize quick actions and related notification cards in Microsoft. This is a very good functionality, I would like to say, because it is integrated now with the Microsoft Teams. And not only that, so when you will have a section for Microsoft, and when you have integrated with Microsoft in the Teams itself, you can raise a reward, you can give a award directly from the Teams itself. You can choose to whom you need to raise an award, and you can select and give what kind of award you wanted to give it to the employees. So you don't have to go into SuccessFactors in order to give a award. So it's more easier and to give an award in this section. So this picture was developed for users to easily recognize colleagues' contribution and achievements in everyday business social scenarios. Okay, and the next one is also related to the same extension of a Microsoft Teams, where you have more notification cards. So in this, we are saying it's not on earlier one was the rewards and recognition one, and here the notification card is related to the statements. So the SAP SuccessFactors app sends the review compensation statement task to prompt users to complete it. So you can track it. So whether the statements review task is completed or not, so that can be tracked, as you can see it on the screen. So it's related to the statement task which is completed. So like this, like more coming up in the next releases as well. So, but these are like wonderful features, like in the linking with your teams, and accessing is very, very much useful.
Great.
That's all
Thank
about the
you.
changes. Yeah.
Thank you, Vidya. We